Good afternoon from the National Exhibition Centre here in Johannesburg. There's thunderous rock music that we're hearing at the moment, and it is the music for World Sport Promotions, who put together the bill in conjunction with Shield this afternoon and CCV Television. What is the fight? It is the Welterweight Championship of South Africa between the champion David Potsane and challenger Nika Khumalo. Ringside with me, Nick Collis, Demili Mateza. And Demili, it should be an interesting fight, but both these fighters haven't done much fighting recently.
Well, definitely, Nick, it's a fight we've been waiting for close to a year. Was supposed to take place last year, but because the promoter, who happens to be Potsane's wife, was not able to guarantee the fight did not take place, and I think you've got something to tell us.
Let's have a look at the two fighters.
So much excitement to the welterweight division. If only they would fight a little bit more. Let's look at Potsane first, the champion. He won, of course, the title last time out against Gorilla Siswana. It was a long time ago. It was down in Durban. And Potsane on the night, his boxing skills and his superior strength took him to the title.
The champion holding his hands high to try and ward off these punches, but you notice that Potsane has rocked him with a right to the head. Siswana in trouble, and he's down.
Looking at the challenger, Nika Khumalo, all that experience, some of it international, 2 WBO welterweight title fights against Manning Galloway, but equally inactive. And his last opponent was Lee Fortune, a spoiler from America. The fight took place down in Cape Town. It wasn't a great performance by Khumalo, and he'll hope to improve this afternoon.
Khumalo going all out after him now, but he's still keeping on his feet. And there's the end of the fight.
So David Potsane is the South African welterweight champion. Don't forget that Nika Khumalo is a two-time South African champion as well, holding the junior welterweight title and the lightweight title. Our ring announcer, Henny Peterson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the main event. The supervisor for this fight is Gerald Ramsden, your ring doctor, Christo Bueta, and the timekeeper, Champ Pio. This is a Shield boxing bonanza bout presented by World Sports Promotions. This is for the South African welterweight title fight over 12 rounds between, on my right, weighing in at 65.80 kilograms in the pink. He's had 43 contests, 36 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses. He's fought for the World Championship on 2 occasions. From Cape Town, ladies and gentlemen, Nika the Sting Khumalo. And on my left, defending the old buck belt, the champion. He's had 24 fights for 17 wins, 5 losses and 2 draws. In the red and white, the champion, David Potsane. Your judges for this fight will be Mrs. Martin, Snowball and Scutter. And here is your referee, Stan Christodoulou.
Well, there's a lot of tension here ringside. This fight has been a long time in the making. On, off again, and on very much today then. The South African welterweight title online. Here we go, round 1. David Potsane versus challenger Nika Khumalo. Potsane has the reach advantage. He's a nice, composed boxer. He is physically strong. Khumalo is a busy type of fighter. He likes to get inside and bang. And it'll be interesting to see just who has the sting this afternoon, Khumalo or Potsane.
Well, Potsane coming out of a sparring session. He was sparring with Dingaan Tabela before his ill-fated fight last night at Carousel. And tonight here, he's got to show what he learned from fighting or from sparring with Potsane. The first time he's defending this title since he won it from that man, Gorilla Siswana, around about the same time last year.
Well, in fact, it was just about a year ago, Demili. That fight took place down in Durban, and Potsane was the winner on points over 12 rounds.
Well, already in this first round, Nika has Potsane on the back foot.
Well, it's Khumalo, as you say, controlling the center of the ring. Potsane looks content to box off the back foot for the time being. Khumalo, rather Potsane's reach, I think, will play a large part in this fight. He's got to keep the fight on the outside, I feel. Khumalo, for his part, will try and slip Potsane's punches and get inside and do some punching, as he is there to the body. But Potsane is a clever fighter, no question.
Well, talking about experience, Nika has a load of experience ahead of this man. Potsane, a big right hand into Potsane.
Potsane covers up. You're quite right, that right hand did land. It forced Potsane to cover up. Khumalo has come into the ring in fine shape. His upper body is looking taut. It's looking well sculpted. And although he's been out of the ring for a long time, he obviously hasn't been a lazy man. He's kept to his conditioning. He's worked at his strength. Looks to be in good shape this afternoon, Demili.
Well, he looks in good shape, Nick. Whether he's going to be able to stand 12 rounds here tonight, because he has had only one fight in 1993, inactive in 92. Of course, yes, Nika is a man who went the distance twice with Manning Galloway for the WBO champion.
He was in against a different type of fighter there, of course. Manning Galloway was a spoiler. He liked to run. Potsane will not run from Khumalo. He may box him off the back foot, but he certainly won't run from Khumalo.
Lean boxer, this Potsane. Looks very fit. And as Nick told you, he's using that reach of his very well. End of round one.
Use more of your chair. Zama, use more of your chair, Nika. Zama, chair, Nika. We chair, Nika. We chair, Nika. Na override.
Kamu ka chance orang muda. Okay. Tapi api. Akan lagi box separai kita nak
Well, Norman Schlabani in the corner of David Potsane. He probably feels he's got a lot to prove this afternoon after Dingaan Tabella's losing effort against the Nasrec last night at the Carousel. Looking at some of the action from the first round, Khumalo very busy to the body of David Potsane. That was after Khumalo had caught Potsane with a right hand that forced Potsane to cover up on the ropes. Round 2, scheduled for 12. The South African title is at stake.
Well, David Mixo, Potsane as he calls himself, fights here in tights. The first time I saw a boxer fighting in tights.
I wouldn't call them tights. I'm not quite sure what I'd call them, but you're right. Potsane lands a good right hand to Khumalo. Khumalo takes the punch well, though. Comes back with a combination of his own. Khumalo falling short with the right hand. You can see how important it is in these overhead shots that Potsane keeps Khumalo off, keeps him at range with his left hand. Khumalo looks very dangerous inside.
Well, that's obviously Khumalo's plan. He wants Potsane to come in and he can work his body, and he's been doing that from time to time. Khumalo's corner told him at the end of round 1 that he must try and jab, and he's not been doing that.
Potsane with a combination to the head of Khumalo, and then he falls inside. Long right hand from Potsane scores. Khumalo goes underneath. Looking for the uppercut there, Nika Khumalo, not landing. Still Khumalo, and he is pushing forward, but he took a shot there from Potsane as he tried to get inside. Right hand to the body by Khumalo.
Well, Nick, the man who held the title, Harold Fulbright, for over 10 years, is seated at ringside tonight. You watch this fight. Watch these two pugilists sorting each other out.
Well, there's a lot of Khumalo scoring with a good right hand there. A lot of action here in the second round. This fight has been fought at a very, very good pace. Khumalo switching his attack to body and head. Gets a warning from Stan Christodoulou for pulling Potsane onto the punch. The uppercut comes in again from Khumalo. Couple of hooks to the head. Potsane covers up. Comes back with a left hook of his own. That landed. Good punch from Potsane.
Potsane walks straight into a right there.
I'll tell you what, for two fighters that have been out of the ring for a year, they're both timing their shots very well.
Well, I'm afraid Potsane is always wide open. Has been caught several times on that left chin by Nika.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
Next time on EcoVision, we view the weather, a wobbly fish, and cleaner water. And hey, what do you know? We take a visit to the West Coast. Become an Eco Buddy and join in our green adventures every Wednesday on CCV at 6 o'clock. And hey guys, don't you miss it.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
Well, action from round two. Khumalo crowding Potsane there.
Well, I think Khumalo has shaded the opening two rounds, and Potsane scores with a right hand, straight right to the head. I'm impressed with the way Khumalo has started this fight. He's been busy. He's been able to catch Potsane repeatedly. Potsane, though, having the better of the third. Certainly at the start of the round. Managed to catch Khumalo with that right hand, and he's busy with his left jab now. That's a very, very important punch for David Potsane this afternoon, because it'll keep Khumalo at range, and he looks so much better. And he takes a left hook, and he's wobbled. Potsane takes a left hook from Khumalo, and he was stopped in his tracks. And Khumalo knows he's hurt his man. Khumalo now picks up the pace, works the body of Potsane. Potsane has his head covered. He doesn't want to take another clean shot to the jaw. Potsane is, well, I wouldn't say he was out on his feet, but he's badly, badly hurt.
Well, Nika noticed from the beginning of this fight, it looks very lean to me, and every punch Khumalo threw at him, a strong punch, he shook Potsane, and that punch really showed that Khumalo has some power in those punches.
Khumalo has a lot of power. Impressive punching power. He's out-punching David Potsane at the moment. Potsane again has those gloves high to the head. He just doesn't want to take a clean shot to the head.
It's actually messed up his rhythm.
Well, it would. It really would. Potsane is trying to fight back, trying to keep Khumalo off. But Khumalo getting David Potsane's attention with a strong, strong punch in this third round.
Well, the fight was waited for over a year. This fight was supposed to have taken place last year. Many people reckoned that Potsane was lucky to win this title from Sisana.
I disagree with that, Amelia. I thought that was a good performance by Potsane. I think he won the title fair and square. But I tell you what, he's in danger of losing his title right here in the third round against Nika Khumalo. He's on the back foot. He's been badly hurt in this round. Khumalo digging away to the body. He's out-punching David Potsane at the moment, Demili.
Well, he is, Nick. He's beating him to the punch, and Potsane is trying to fight back. That's what I like. He's got a lot of better. He walks right straight to punch, walks into another one, and he wobbles.
Well, this is very brave by David Potsane. He's firing back his own shots. But he's coming off second best. Good round for Nika Khumalo.
Black bottle.
Let's see if we can pick out the punch that stunned David Potsane. There's a couple of right hands going in. I have a feeling it was a left hook, though, that caught Potsane. That was a punch midway through the round that did extreme damage to David Potsane. Well, I don't think we're going to get a clean look at it here, but David Potsane in all sorts of trouble in that third round. This is a very impressive performance by Khumalo. His last fight was in '93 at the start of the year, February the 2nd, against Lee Fortune, and that was a rather lackluster display over 12 rounds. This is much better stuff from Khumalo here today.
Well, this crowd had to wait for almost a year for this fight, and they're getting exactly what they've been waiting for.
A very exciting division in South African boxing, the welterweight division. Gary Murray is active in it.
Talks that Tabela might be coming to this division.
Well, I think he'd have to go junior welter first. But if he does have weight problems, and that would appear to be half of his problem last night, it may be an idea. I don't know what his plans are for the future. But right now, Nika Khumalo's plans for David Potsane are to get him out of here and get him out quick.
Well, Nika went down to Cape Town, back home, and stayed for almost a year. That was 1992. He did not get fights. Came up to Johannesburg in search of this title, and today he has the chance of a lifetime.
Khumalo almost timing an uppercut as Potsane came in. Potsane with the jab, forcing Khumalo back onto the ropes. Potsane's punches don't carry the same sting. Khumalo's able to use his strength to get back into the center of the ring. Potsane scores with a short right hand, looks for the uppercut again, doesn't land. Khumalo hooks to the body.
Well, Potsane is wide open. As the referee warns both boxers not to get their hands knocking again. Khumalo receiving on the receiving end from Potsane. But Potsane receives even harder punches.
Well, both men fighting inside now, head to head. Potsane works the body. Khumalo comes upstairs, above us on the ropes now. Khumalo looking the stronger fighter. Potsane's still very much in the fight, though. Looks to have recovered a little bit from the beating he took in the third round.
Well, it looks like Nika Khumalo doesn't even flinch when a punch hits him.
Well, the difference thus far is that Khumalo's been able to hurt Potsane. Potsane hasn't yet hurt Khumalo. And Potsane's not a light puncher. He's got a fair punch himself. Khumalo.
The power of those punches has been neutralized.
Still the fight being fought at a very good pace. Potsane misses with a couple of shots on the ropes. Khumalo comes back with a left hook that lands, and another one. Potsane's looking a little bit wild now, and that could be fatal.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
Dentists tell you to change your toothbrush every 2 to 3 months. So does the Oral-B indicator, with the blue band that fades as the bristles wear out. The indicator toothbrush from Oral-B.
Score with Oral-B and win a trip to the World Cup finals.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
Let them move with sit down. Okay? Take it again. Take your time, relax. Okay. Let's relax. Work on it, say no.
Go into round 5. Khumalo, as Nick told you, former South African champion twice, a lightweight division, defended that title 3 times before he relinquished it and challenged for the welters. When he got to the welters, had a terrific fight with Phumzile Matikane before he challenged for Manning Galloway.
hitting the body of Khumalo, but not too much power behind those shots. Well, if this fight continues for a few more rounds at this pace, conditioning will very definitely play a part. David Potsane may be ruining the fact that he's been out of the ring for so long. He could have had a few more fights. He could have defended his title once or twice. Didn't have to be against Khumalo if the fight fell through. At 30 years of age, he needed to keep busy. Oh, he just walks into a left hand from Khumalo.
Build up to this fight, Nick, has been tremendous. Remember last year, the promoter, Dr. Ophelia Jato, happens to be Potsane's wife. That creates another dimension to this fight. And tonight here, she's at the ringside, and Nika Khumalo was walked a long way from junior lightweight to lightweight to junior welter. Now he's in the welters, and he's giving this man a boxing lesson.
Well, the fight is certainly living up to expectations. Nothing disappointing about this. It's a terrific fight. Khumalo with a ramrod left into the face of David Potsane.
I suspect Khumalo's corner said he shouldn't go for a knockout. He should rather fight it out, probably make this man succumb.
Potsane is doing a lot of punching when he's off balance, and he doesn't have, there's a lovely example, he just doesn't have the power when he's off balance like this. Khumalo, though, is very compact. He sets his weight when he punches, and that's why he's punching so much harder than Potsane. It's quite noticeable ringside here.
And a flurry of punches there from both boxers.
Khumalo's obviously in terrific condition, as there was a long two-fisted assault by Nika Khumalo at the end of the round.
Nick gives me a spelling salt.
Nika, stop. And again.
Please, David. I don't take a right.
Well, it was Potsane moving forward in this exchange, but Khumalo did the more effective punching.
And that is exactly what Khumalo wants him to do, to come into him so that he can start him at the body and go up with him.
In a lot of Khumalo's, well, I hesitate to say recent fights because it's been such a long time since he's been in the ring, but his last couple of fights, he's had to go looking for the other man. Manning Galloway, he really had to go looking for, and Lee Fortune, it was a similar fight. But here, Potsane, although he's taking a bit of a beating, he certainly hasn't backed up, and you can see that Potsane is determined to come forward. And Khumalo doesn't have to go looking for his man. The South African welterweight champion, David Potsane. Nika Khumalo, I think, has built up a points lead in these opening rounds. It's up to Potsane to get back into the fight. He starts the round well. The left hand is busy, right hand coming in after it, and then the head, just for good measure. Referee Christodoulou won't let him get away with that, though.
The difference, of course, is Nika's punches are coming to Potsane with precision compared to the lethargic punches coming from Potsane.
Just caught Potsane coming in with a short right hand. Potsane, though, lands a couple of punches to the head of Khumalo on the ropes. Khumalo decides he doesn't want his back to the ropes and turns Potsane. Toe-to-toe stuff. Potsane lands a right hand, two right hands to the head of Khumalo. Don't carry enough power, though. I think Khumalo, oh, there's a good uppercut from Potsane, and Khumalo may be slowing down a bit now. Best punches of the fight for the champion, David Potsane. He may be coming back into it. Khumalo on the back foot.
Well, I think what Potsane has in mind is an all or nothing comes forward and throwing those punches.
Still the fight being fought at a very fast pace. Khumalo scores with a left hook. You notice how Potsane carries his left hand very high to the side of his face. Worried about the right hand of Nika Khumalo. But that left hook has scored well for Khumalo in this fight.
Well, I think Khumalo is tiring in this round, but he's not giving up as his man is relentlessly throwing those punches and moving backward.
Potsane again lands with a combination to the face of Khumalo with his back to the ropes. This has been a much better round for David Potsane.
A courageous David Potsane, hands on. His mouth is blooded thin. Lost his gun sheet halfway through the round.
Another terrific exchange of the bell.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
What the hell are you doing here?
Ray Sullivan's been murdered. Talk to me.
Just another business deal gone south. I won't lose any sleep on it.
No, you need a conscience for that. You don't want any part of me, so sit down.
Hunter, whoever killed Ray is trying to put a wedge between Sonny and me.
Hunter and McCall, together they're unstoppable. Tonight on CCV.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant keeps you cool and confident.
Potsane up off his stool first, but he's covered in water. Referee Christodoulou towels him down, and the fight continues in the 7th round of the scheduled 12-rounder for the South African title. Potsane had a much better 6th round. It was a close round, but Potsane came back into the fight well and caught Khumalo with some stinging punches.
Well, Nika actually made that round a draw because the young man, David Potsane, although he's not that young anymore, hang on there and threw punches where he found openings.
He's got to do that. He's got to keep coming forward, I think. Once Khumalo dictates the action and Potsane's forced onto the back foot, Potsane would be in big trouble. It's very brave by Potsane because he's taken punishment, but he's prepared to come forward, and he just walks into a punch there from Khumalo. And again, Potsane stands his ground, though.
Well, his corner said to him, Khumalo has nothing to offer, but that remains to be seen thus far. As Khumalo punches with precision.
I thought perhaps Khumalo tired a little bit in the last round as well. Not surprising, though. This fight is being fought at a great pace. Welterweight division combines the best in power and speed, really. Potsane is still trying to drive Khumalo back. Short right hand goes in. Khumalo scores with his own left hand. Jolts back the head of Potsane. These exchanges now are pretty even. Potsane has Khumalo in Khumalo's corner. Two-fisted attack comes in. Khumalo fights his way out. Pushes his way out, really.
Well, surely I must say, whichever way this fight goes, I must take my hat off for that man, David Potsane. He's able to mix it, and is able to stand, and is able to take punches, but unfortunately these punches are hurting him.
I think he needs to get off the ropes here. Khumalo's just caught him with the right hand to the head again. But these exchanges now, Demili, a lot more even. Where Khumalo was getting the better of these exchanges early on, Potsane now is landing and giving as good as he gets. Combination to the head by Potsane. Oh, this is a thriller. Khumalo lands with a great left hook. Potsane, mouth wide open, takes another right hand from Khumalo. Comes back with his own right hand. Doesn't really do any damage, though. Inside, these men are fighting, they're not clinching. It's great to see. Referee Christodoulou not having too much work to do, does have to separate the fighters now, and a warning to Khumalo for using the head.
Well, Nick, I'm definitely sure the man who held the startle for over 10 years, Harold Fulbright, who's at the ringside tonight, must be happy to see the welterweight division is still alive.
Very much alive, kicking and punching.
Well, a last flurry of punches there from David Potsane. And that had his supporters up and about.
Well, I thought the 6th round was good. The 7th was the best of the fight.
And we, Nika, please,
do not trade with this man. You're losing the fight now. Outbox him, outthink him, outsmart him. Smell. He's wasting it. This is where he's...
Well, there's sounds of concern there coming from Nick Durant in the corner of Nika Khumalo. These exchanges very even now. Both men had their moments in that thrilling 7th round. Well, Nick Durant in the corner of Nika Khumalo voiced his concern. He doesn't want Khumalo to stand there and trade with Potsane. It'll be interesting to see what Khumalo does. Khumalo's on a bicycle.
Well, one thing Nick Durant is aware of, complacency must not creep into Nika's fight. It might just be what his opponent wanted him to do.
Well, I don't believe Nika Khumalo can run from anybody. That's not his style. Potsane, you can see the confidence growing in the man. Potsane's left jab now, Demili, starting to become a real factor. Khumalo now looking to counter-punch Potsane, but Potsane's getting off first. Potsane, the busier fighter here in the 8th. Khumalo, some good head movement to avoid the punches in the corner. Comes back with 2 hooks of his own. Potsane picks him up on the gloves though. Potsane working low to the body. The action in the neutral corner above us here. The National Exhibition Centre. Potsane, a 2-fisted attack to the head. And Khumalo hangs on. Referee Christodoulou breaks the 2 very quickly. There's the left jab again from Potsane. This punch is really starting to do some damage now.
Really, it's becoming a fight now. Only starting to become a fight as Potsane piles in the punches. Nika Khumalo have to regain his rhythm and confidence.
I tell you what, Demili, this fight was worth waiting a year for.
Definitely, Nick. We've seen some powerhouse punches here tonight, and we're still expecting to see more for the rounds that are left, as Potsane is throwing everything he's got.
Both fighters in great shape too. Potsane now is able to keep Khumalo off, and in fact he's able to back Khumalo up, and this fight has changed, because when Potsane is at a distance and has the fight at range, his superior reach gives him the advantage. Khumalo drives Potsane back into the ropes. A little bit of head too in use there. Potsane comes off the ropes quickly to score with that right hand.
Well, one thing Nika probably is asking himself, what can I do with this man? Keeps on standing in front of me. He's thrown every punch in the book, but Potsane still stands there, mixing his punches with him.
Dentists tell you to change your toothbrush every 2 to 3 months. So does the Oral-B indicator, with the blue band that fades as the bristles wear out. The indicator toothbrush from Oral-B.
Score with Oral-B and win a trip to the World Cup finals.
Smell.
And then 1, 2.
Deep breath in and out. In.
1, 2.
And out. Again.
Good.
Okay. Hi, I'm about our count. It's going to be a low count. Okay. Hold on. All right. If you can't come in. It's going to be a low count.
Well, going into round 9 now. Only 3 rounds to go in this fight. This one of them.
I had Khumalo shading the earlier rounds, but Potsane has come back strongly. He just took a right hand there from Khumalo. And at this stage of the fight, I've got this pretty even. In fact, I've been canvassing some opinion ringside. Ron Jackson of Boxing World sitting behind me. He's got Potsane ahead. And a couple of other people feel that Khumalo's on top.
Well, Ron Jackson, being the well-known statistician, knows his boxing very well, but the last round, it's only the last round that I gave on my scorecard to Potsane.
Well, there you go. Undecided. Potsane trying to do some damage to Khumalo on the ropes, but Khumalo coming off quite strongly off those ropes.
What's been happening now? David Potsane has been pretty busy with Nika throwing the odd punch, and that's going to count against him.
I think the man with the superior fitness too will end up on top in this fight. The man that can keep this pace going.
Come on, Nika!
But it's Khumalo that hung on there.
Well, what's been happening, Nika, and as far as I'm concerned, has been very anxious to stop this man in the early rounds, but that has not happened. And now he's got to dig deep into the reserves.
Well, both fighters obviously having to dig very deep here. Khumalo lands a crushing right hand to Potsane's jaw. Potsane wobbled there, I thought. David Potsane is in terrific shape to take the punches he's taken from Khumalo and fire back his own. You've got to be in great shape. But that was a strong right hand that went in from Khumalo. But Khumalo doesn't seem to have the strength to follow up, and now he's taken a couple from Potsane.
Well, I told you earlier, this man, Potsane, was sparring with Dingaan Tabela, preparing for his fight last night. Should be in tip-top condition as he is now.
Well, if Dingaan Tabela had been this busy last night, perhaps we may have had a different result. Who knows? But last night's fight, from Tabela's point of view, at a very slow pace. This welterweight clash is action all the way.
Much better round. Yeah. Nika, you are losing on points, my man.
1, 2,
okay? You've got to follow your jab. Yeah. Follow your jab. You got 3 rounds. This is a 3-round fight, okay? And he's the champion. You got to take it from him. Black bottle.
I think Nick Durant absolutely right there. It's up to Khumalo to take the title from Potsane.
Left out. Itu was a 1-2. What the left to right is like A, like a P. Right is the left in here. Make us get a pita. Well done. All right. What a jimpatin. What a tit. Yeah. Kuala kalau tit jimpatin. Start.
After the jab. Come on, he's just a start.
Well, Potsane's corner, they're saying Nika Khumalo is tired. I said I can agree with them because Nika has not been punching with the same precision as been punching with earlier in this fight.
I don't know if I agree with Nick Durant's assessment that Khumalo is losing this fight on points. I think it's pretty even. I haven't been scoring it. Potsane scoring with a long right hand there. Khumalo took the punch pretty well though. Well, I've said it before, the championship rounds And in fact, it's a phrase that journalists use repeatedly, but it is a good phrase, and this is exactly what it is. Rounds 10, 11, 12 now. It's up to one of these fighters to snatch the victory.
Well, David Potsane fighting with real confidence now in these later rounds. Rather uncharacteristic fighter, but he's getting his punches in.
Oh, still both men trading to the head, almost taking it in turns to hit each other. Just when you think one man's getting on top, the other fires back his own combinations. Khumalo missing with that right hand. Potsane didn't miss with his right.
Real courage is needed here now for both fighters.
This is a brutal, brutal fight. Potsane comes on strong. Where does he get this energy from? Somebody's lost the gum shield. I think it's Khumalo. Khumalo is almost down. Khumalo goes down.
Well, what a change of fortune in the fight.
Well, I wonder what Khumalo has left. Nothing. Potsane holds on to his South African welterweight title, but what a fight. Fantastic action here at the National Exhibition Centre this afternoon. David Potsane hangs on to his title. Damili, I'm going to try and get into the ring and have a word with David Potsane.
Well, while Nick is away, great fight here. Great courage from David Potsane. Came back from behind and stopped his man. And it's been a very, very good fight. And that is why South African boxing is still alive. Well, before we get the results, I'll take you back to the studio. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Although Amstel should always be savored, very, very slowly. Which, of course, is the way we brew it. Now and again, it is acceptable to enjoy one at high speed.
There's where the fight ended. That's where the fight ended. With Potsane piling in those punches, throwing every punch he's got, using every bit of energy he's got. And Nika Khumalo, if you look at his eyes right now, as he is there, looks sleepy, and he goes down and out. Well, looks like it's the end of Khumalo. Fought a gallant fight here tonight, came in, wanted to stop Potsane. In the early rounds, he used all his energy in those rounds, and Potsane was able to dig deep down in his reserves to win and defend his title for the first time. And now, with the results, although we know the results officially, Henny Peterson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official result. The winner by a knockout in 2 minutes and 26 seconds of the 10th round, and he still retains the old buff belt, David Potsane.
There you have it, David Potsane, champion. He's won his title, he's defended his title here successfully, and Nick is with him. Hear a word from him.
Thanks very much, Damili. David, congratulations, fantastic fight. That must be in line for Fight of the Year. Nika had you in trouble early on, though, didn't he?
I knew very well, Nick, that he's going to come up running because I think him and Nick Turan, they plan to knock me maybe in the first 3 rounds, but I keep him at distance. I know that in the later rounds I'm going to have the edge. I'm going to have the edge.
One thing I think that was very noticeable in the fight, you're in terrific shape. The pace of the fight was incredible. You haven't been fighting in the ring for a long time. Obviously, all the sparring work you've done with Dingaan Tabela, etc., has kept you in very good shape.
You know what, Nick, it's because even if I don't have fight, like now I'm also a professional runner, so I'm keeping myself busy, and whenever I've been those 4-rounders boys, they are fighting, I mean, I'm always in the gym helping them, you know. I'm one type of a person who works very hard. No, I'm not surprised about the outcome of the fight. I knew it's going to end up like this. Now, I've told Nika before, and I warned him not to take up this fight because now that's the end of the road for him, as I've said before. I mean, that we are living in a world of boys to men, and now that's finished with Nika.
David, you came out the man here this afternoon. What's next for you now?
Like now, as we discussed that with my promoter, Tina Stradom, and my manager, Raman Taban, we will be setting up an international. And if Nika maybe wants another go at me, I'll give him, but you know who's next? Livio Kakaza is next. I'm coming. I'm on my way.
Well, this is the champ then, South Africa's welterweight champion, David Potsane. Hangs on to the title. Back to you, Damili.
Thank you, Nick. There you have it. The man, he says it's the end of the road for Nick. For Nika, whether that's the end of the road remains to be seen. It looks like the Boys to Men song is the name of the day here. And don't go away. Still have some more boxing action. We'll be back right after this.
Introducing a remarkable German tire now made in this country, Continental. Continental tires. German engineering where you need it most on a car.
Well, welcome back here at the ringside in the bull ring. That's what it used to be known for. We had another fight here early today, but going back to this fight, I understand Potsane saying it's the end of the road for Nika Khumalo, and he's also said left the door open for him, saying if he wants a return fight, he will get it.
Well, certainly if David Potsane is going to keep campaigning on the local scene, defending his title, which obviously he's going to have to do, unless Tina Stradom lines up some international fights for him, Khumalo comes into the picture again. He's a legitimate contender. We saw that this afternoon. But there are others in the welterweight division too that would like a shot again. I don't know whether Frederick Siswana could make welterweight again. He's fighting now as junior middle, but certainly Gary Murray, if his fight plans fall through for a possible WBO world title fight, who knows, he could be a contender. Sydney Msutu is a very good welterweight. I know Sydney, you're probably watching down in Cape Town. He's a very good welterweight. There are others too in this welterweight division that could challenge and make some good fights. But that really was a great fight, wasn't it?
It was, no doubt about it, a fight, but we did not know whether who's going to win the fight until Nika Khumalo ran out of energy there, and this man, he actually won his title and capped it. Well, earlier